I've heard it's best to record a podcast when you have to cough the whole time, so get ready.
Hello, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Moving on.
Happy Thanksgiving. Just kidding.
This is Drew here with my little sister, Ashley,
Howdy, howdy.
Miss Sandworm herself.
Yep, just crawling in the sand for 7.5 hours yesterday. So
Yeah, you must have been like playing with your baby or something. Is that why you were in a sandbox?
no, giant adults playing
Oh.
volleyball.
Yeah. All right. Well, you are listening to New Release, a TV and sometimes movie podcast where, Ashley,
Each week we watch something new and then decide if we want more.
for 243 not straight weeks, because we're just taking breaks left and right now.
Yep.
You know? Took a summer break, took a whole week off for Christmas and New Year's. So forgive us for...
That's pretty nice, though. It's pretty nice.
No, not bad. I was actually thinking of taking all of January off, so we're back.
Oh, okay.
Ahead of schedule.
Nice.
But we are keeping it extra loose. We're gonna, I think, have stronger, faster takes on the things we watch and not meander as much. So with that in mind, Ashley, prime or not prime?
Oh, let me meandering here. Definitely Prime.
We're going to be talking about season 2 of Squid Game. And normally we would do previously on New Release, but it's been a few weeks and we watched mostly movies in December.
Black
So
Dove.
we don't have... What?
Did we talk about Black Dove?
Did you
No.
finish it?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I haven't watched it, so
Oh, okay.
if you want to just give, like, you recommend sticking with it even post Christmas.
Yeah, it was
to the end?
incredible.
Okay.
Yeah, Keira Knightley's amazing. So
Do you think they're going to make more just based on the plot? I mean, I don't know.
I honestly hope not. I think
Okay.
it was really good just as a one season, a miniseries. So
Cool.
her partner plays a big role. Like his name's Sam. He's like the shooter, kind of. I don't know, henchman. I don't know what you'd call him, but he's like probably my favorite character in the show, above Keira
Interesting.
Knightley. So
Yeah, she's incredible. I think I
Mhm.
mentioned I watched a movie with her, Silent Night, and
yeah.
also like just shows her full range of dark comedy. Just kind of, I don't know. She's gorgeous, obviously, and just like her screen presence is off the charts.
Yeah,
Um,
highly recommend.
so you finished that. I don't want to talk about Landman until I catch up, but
Okay.
are you up to date with it?
Yes.
Okay. Where are we at in the season? Do you know how many episodes there are going to be?
Yeah, there are supposed to be. There's 10 total.
Okay. So you're probably getting close to the end of season 1.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm sure
but
there will be
it's-
more. It seems like it's a pretty big hit.
Mhm. Yeah, Drew, maybe we should try and watching it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go back to TV. I watched 20-ish movies in December.
A movie a day, almost, I guess.
Roughly. Yeah.
Or 2 a day.
Yeah, some days. And I don't know what my plan. We're gonna do maybe some look ahead episodes for 2025, and the TV that is really exciting just kind of comes out of nowhere. Whereas movies, I feel like I can be a little more intentional and
Mhm.
plan out what I want to watch, and especially from October through December, it's movie season for me.
I have a movie I want us to watch, but we can talk
What?
about it later. We're going to talk
Okay.
later or now?
Well, I want to talk about 2 lightning round movies where only one of us has seen each one. So, and I think we both recommend them. But you saw A Complete Unknown, the
Yes.
Bob Dylan biopic.
Yes, I did. Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Do I talk about it?
30 seconds. Yeah, go.
Okay. Obviously he's an incredible actor. He looks just like Bob Dylan. Like he just throughout the movie, you're just like, I think that's Bob Dylan. I don't know. He's amazing. The movie is incredible. I wasn't really super familiar with a lot of Bob Dylan songs. I probably knew like 4 or 5, and they had so many in the so many in the movie. And Bob Dylan really isn't known for like his voice. He's a good guitar player, storyteller. Apparently, he won the Nobel Prize for storytelling, the only person to win that. And he didn't even show up to the awards. So that's Bob Dylan for you.
Yeah.
But just a creative genius. Like the way he writes is just, I don't know. It was incredible.
What's funny is my big Bob Dylan phase was the 6 to 8 months I was living in Denver.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bought all of his records. I had a record player, and that was like the only time in my life that I've been like really intentional about like putting on a record and just listening to music like as a activity versus like, you know, music as background, music as soundtrack to life. This was like, oh, I'm gonna listen to music like people read or watch movies. And Dylan that's like when I discovered him, and I still have all of his records. And yeah, that whole period in the 60s is just mind blowing in terms of his lyricism and poetry. And he encapsulates the artistic genius archetype that better than maybe anyone else that is unattainable, and who knows how real it is for him or anyone, of like you being a conduit for artistic like inspiration flowing through you, and versus like anyone who tries to make something creative intentionally. It feels like very laborious, very methodical, very manufactured. It felt like for him it was just like flowing through him.
Yeah, there was a quote in the movie, and it was something along the lines of, I'm going to butcher it, but it was something along the lines of like, people keep asking me like, how'd you come up with this song? Like, how'd you do this? And he's just like, they're really asking like, why can't I do this?
Right.
So, but yeah, it was incredible. There's like appearances by like Johnny Cash, Joan Baez. Like, I didn't know a lot of his story, so that was just really interesting to me. It was very, very good. So
I'll probably go into it knowing a little more. I mean, I want to have like as much of a novelty factor, just biographically and musically, just because I was so immersed in it. Even though it was like in the grand scheme of Bob Dylan fandom, I'm bottom tier. But you were basically like
I've seen
new
him
to it, yeah. And you have seen him in person way, unfortunately, past his prime, right?
Oh, yeah. That was like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
But it was Bob Dylan, Willie Nelson, and John Mellencamp. And John Mellencamp, since he's younger, I could actually understand what he was saying, which is nice. I actually thought the movie was so good that I texted our childhood friend, Sean, and I was just like, you should go see this movie, blah, 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 because he's a huge Bob Dylan fan and a great musician. So,
yeah, the Green Boys, I'm sure.
Yeah. Check him out on Spotify.
I'm sure he was aware of it. Had he already seen it when he texted him?
He hasn't seen it, no.
Yeah.
Not yet. I think he's in Mexico City right now, or somewhere in Mexico. So.
And lastly, since this is 30 seconds on the dot.
Yeah, that's pretty.
What did you think of Chalamet?
I actually haven't watched a lot of his movies, but he was great.
I mean, you said he looked just like him. He obviously did all the singing and the instruments. Well, he grows fingernails out, apparently. That's one thing I didn't know about Dylan until this movie came out, is that it was very notorious for having long fingernails.
It helps with guitar playing.
Yeah, to a point.
Maybe.
And then, well, we're not guitar players, so if that's why. Then
well, our mom is, and and so is Isaac. And I think you grow them out to help play. But he sounded just like him and was really good at a guitar, and you could tell he put a lot of time and effort into the movie, and that's why it's up for 1 billion Golden Globes. So
and on the other end of the spectrum is his performance in Dune 1 and Part 2, which came out in the same
which I haven't seen. So
and I mean it couldn't be more of a different character, although sort of a Messiah-like force in the world. So I'm sure people will draw parallels, but I paid attention. There was more press for Complete Unknown because it's that kind of Oscar bait movie, and it was a more showy performance in terms of him. People asking about the craft and the skills that he had to learn, and aside from all the work he put into embodying Dylan, like he is the most one of the most like articulate, sort of witty, kind of I mean, again, like Keira Knightley,
Yeah.
handsome, just like on screen figures, but like his mind is incredibly sharp whenever you see him in interviews, and he's like a sports fanatic randomly. So he's not even just this kind of like artistically focused actor type. Like he went on a big college football show and just spouted off his knowledge about that, and he's like was going to Knicks games as a kid and getting like jerseys signed and stuff. Like it's I've learned more about his personal life and off-screen persona, and it's made him even more kind of appealing as a celebrity.
Oh, that's great. I like when it goes that way, not the other way.
Yeah. Okay. So,
what movie
my
did
lightning
you
round.
see? Yeah. 30 seconds, 22 seconds.
I think I can beat you.
Okay. Well, you also talked a lot during it, so I feel like
Fair.
I maybe did 30 seconds.
Fair. I saw Nosferatu. It's
man.
It's an absolutely immersive, dark, gothic, moody experience. Everything you would imagine from any footage or any kind of imagery you've seen from it. And from the director of The Witch and The Northman and The Lighthouse, who is known for just kind of going all in on capturing the realism of a period or of a setting. And it just locks you into that world for 2.5 hours. And not a lot, happens plot-wise, obviously, but it is kind of one of the more gripping, affecting experiences I've had in a movie theater.
Wow. Is it like scary, or is it just like suspenseful, or what's I don't really know any of the storyline. I just know it's like an old vampire.
It's like it's disturbing, I would say.
Okay.
It's not a horror movie or like a scary movie in the modern sense. It's a scary movie in the fact that like you lose touch with your own reality, and you're so caught up in this world that it can be scary to be transported into this really dark and disturbing, kind of world. So
okay.
Yeah, I'd say it's scary, and it's scary in that sense. Like you feel completely like lost in the world.
Oh,
yeah.
Does it take place like in his castle, or what's I honestly don't know much.
Yeah, well, if you and maybe you haven't. I mean, we watched Dracula for the podcast. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah.
Keanu Reeves movie. He's the Keanu Reeves character. It's the exact plot that's been repeated.
Okay.
Tons of times since Bram Stoker wrote it, and then the movie in 1922 called Nosferatu, and then there's been remakes of that in the Dracula story. It's a guy who has to go get a piece of paper signed at Dracula's castle, and from there, darkness kind of just consumes everything in its path.
Whoa. Okay.
But it's exactly the same plot, like with detail. It told maybe more through the perspective of your favorite, the star of The Idol, Lily Rose Depp's character.
Oh, I mean, it wasn't really her. It was just like the show, She's a great actress. Like the opening scene in The Idol when she's doing all this, like she's a good actress. It was just the show itself I did not like.
Yeah, the opening of this is very disturbing and affecting, and I honestly went the whole movie because I had just seen her in Silent Night, the Keira Knightley movie I was talking about, and obviously The Idol, but because she has a dark wig on or dark hair in this, I somehow avoided knowing that was her. I didn't even know it was her when I was watching the movie. But she's the female lead, and it's definitely that character's journey and story that we're following. I mean, literally, we're following Nicholas Hoult going to the castle and sort of unleashing the Nosferatu character, but it's all she's actually driving things.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that was pretty fast. Do you recommend people go see it, or is it in theaters or just?
Yeah, it's kind of a cop-out when I just think longer, slower, more immersive movies it's unrealistic to think you're going to have the same level of focus at home, like for anyone. I mean, I love watching movies on my big projector at home, but it benefits from being locked in the theater. And it's also kind of, it's not a crowd reaction movie like The Substance, but you feel the tension more when you know you're in a theater with 100 other people. So,
Gotcha. I'm just watch The Substance over and over again.
yeah. Well, we can revisit that on our most memorable movie going experiences.
Coming up. Definitely.
So, all right. Well, those are our previously on, sort of, in our life segments. Good job keeping it short. I think it's time for what?
Our feature presentation.
Yep. No music. All right. Squid Game Season 2 needs little introduction because this is one of the most popular shows on Netflix globally of all time. I think Stranger Things is a phenomenon, and we have spent way more time talking about it, and it's been way more influential on American culture than Squid Game. But in terms of like something that becomes a phenomenon in the U.S. and in Asian countries and all over the world at the same time, like I don't think there's really anything on the level of Squid Game.
No.
And it's not English language. So like the fact that it caught on in America, even though it, like Shogun was a very popular show last year that was mostly in Japanese, which was unusual, but Squid Game, was 3 years before that. So this absolute global phenomenon. And then we had to wait. How long has it been? 3 years?
I think it's been 3. Did it come out during COVID at the beginning?
Well, we watched some of it together when we still had our childhood house.
Oh, man.
As, our parents were moving out of it.
It came out in 2021. Yep. September 2021.
Yeah. So it's been over 3 years because this came out, December 2024. And I think Netflix was surprised by the level of, everyone was surprised. The creator was surprised. So they had to, pony up a lot of money. And this isn't, as far as I know, like based on, there wasn't like already story there. So they had to,
start from scratch,
come up with new story. But I had this really weird layoff where I watched it, with some of it with you through about episode 6 of season 1. And then I stupidly stopped. Yeah. Weirdly stopped until a week or two ago. So I finished season 1.
Nice.
And you, before we jump into season 2, I'm curious, you were like, well, just wait till you finish season 1 and see if you, my hunch was that you weren't happy with the way season 1 ended. Is that what you were alluding to?
I honestly don't remember a lot of the ending of season 1. I think for some reason I just remember being kind of confused. And I don't know. I kind of think you need to tell me what happens at the end because it's been 3 years and I feel like when I saw it, I was like, what's going on? Yeah.
Do we want to try to pronounce any of the names of the characters? Like what's the main guy's name?
Sung Ho.
Okay.
I think.
So not surprisingly, he wins the game. But he wins it in a way that like the person he's basically trying to lose and sacrifice to the other character that's left at the end. And he's lost, basically everybody's been through so much through the games, and he's the last one standing, so he gets all the prize money. But then when he goes back home, he finds his mother dead.
That's right. I forgot that even happened. So
yeah, so that was kind of like his tether, and the one thing that theoretically he could kind of like be happy to have the money for was to, pay off his debts and to give them a better life. He's got the other woman that he has kind of like a maternal relationship with that runs the the
Fish
food
market?
stand. Yeah, the fish market.
And his name is Sung Ji-hun. Sorry,
Okay.
I completely butchered it. Anyway.
Yeah, we'll do our best. I mean, they're Korean actors, which is awesome, and I mean, like non-American actors, so we'll do our best.
Who was the guy in the deathbed, or like was dying and talking to him at the end of the first season?
Yeah, so that's the other twist.
The creator of the game?
The creator of the game, and he has this kind of like relationship with somebody who doesn't seem like they're a very good competitor in the game. This old guy who may or may not have dementia, and is kind of like, there's the game where they're playing marbles basically, and the old guy either lets him win or he cheats him, and it turns out that the old man was the one running the game, and so he wanted to be in the game to experience it firsthand. And they play one last game at the end of season 1, and that is, will somebody stop and help a person who's like passed out on the street, like they're in his tower penthouse. The old man's like on life support or on oxygen, and he plays one last game, and so the police show up, or like a guy seemingly ignores the person dying on the street, but actually goes and gets help. So there's some hope for humanity.
Pretty bleak show, yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like, the show doesn't really hold back on like how damaging like this is. I mean, the 46 million won that he that you get with the prize money doesn't ease any of the psychological damage that's been done from having to see all these people die around you and participate in their death, and then have his mom be dead by the time he gets back.
Yeah,
so,
and then you're
brutal.
make close friends with people that are going to die in the end in the game show. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he's able to kind of like win the last game without directly killing the guy. I can't remember exactly how it goes down. Like the guy messes up or something, and he still wants to like split it with him, but then they shoot the other guy or something happens at
but he doesn't kill him, which is
no. He has his kind of lines that he won't cross, and then on top of all of that, we kind of see him. I can't remember where season 1 ends and season 2 picks up, because they kind of overlap a little bit. But yeah, what did you think of? I mean, does that jog your memory? I mean, do you remember why you were anxious for me to see the end?
I don't actually know why I felt that way. Interesting. Maybe I just didn't. I don't know.
It wasn't like a home run for you?
Yeah, I think I liked being lost in the world of like the games and stuff, and then once it's like out of that world, it loses me a little bit. And so maybe I was like, oh, the game's over, like the show should be over. And then it's like, it's not, just you wait kind of thing. So
yeah, I mean, and then, well, okay, that brings us to season 2 then. So what did you think of this setup and kind of like the information we get about where he's at in his life and everything from season 1 to season 2, the transition?
Still really sad.
Yeah.
So he's basically looking for the creator, or the guy who like hands out the cards for the game, because the games are going to start again, and he doesn't want people to die, which, that's good motivation. But he's spending a lot of money on teams to like track down this person throughout all the different subway stations. And it kind of starts off pretty slow. Nothing's happening. They're not getting any traction. And then, of course, they like find the guy finally after 2 years of looking, which is like, that's pretty nuts. And then I forgot about
the guy's not being that sneaky about it either.
No.
I mean, I know it's a needle in a haystack, but he's going to public parks and, like making a mockery of the homeless people. And he's doing very public displays of of kind of challenging people.
I thought he was going to make the homeless people fight each other. We put all the food on the ground. I was like, oh no. Or he was gonna be like the one person that chose the food who's like, you get all these actually, and then he just leaves them with all the food, and then but he just still lets no one eat. So that character is really interesting.
Yeah. The first 2 episodes basically are the setup for what's the search and kind of like who is this person that is a recruiter for the game and hunting him down. What I liked about the start of season 2 is, and I guess we don't know how many episodes we each watched, so we'll get to that.
We should have had a card with a number on it.
Yeah, I don't even have my cards.
Perfect.
Yeah.
but we could hold up a number with our fingers. I guess that works too. It's fine.
Oh yeah, that works. So I'll try not to give that away. But the thing I liked is how many people are kind of rallying around this cause. I mean, it's not like I could have seen all this time passing both in the show's reality and our reality, and then just them kind of like fast forwarding to the next set of games. But instead he's sinking all of his resources, time and emotion and money into shutting down the games, and he has to like get all these other people on board with it, and they believe him enough, and they also believe the cop who escaped the island. This fisherman believes him enough to take him to island after island. And it's like, I actually appreciated that this insane thing happened. These people came out of it, and they weren't just like moving on with their life. And then not only that, they were also like in a horror movie or something, and people discover that this crazy supernatural thing happened, and then it's just back to business as usual the next day. Presumably like in the world of
moving into a new house or whatever, like everything's fine.
Yeah, but like these people were not moving on, and not only that, they were having to like explain their motives to lots of other people, persuading them with money, but also persuading them enough that like I was worried that the people that he had hired to search all the train stations, for instance, were just taking the money and not doing the search.
Yeah, but they're actually trying their best, which is pretty cool. And the fisherman taking him out every day for 2 years to try and find a like mystery island, which I don't know, it's pretty compelling.
There's a big, I mean, this is should have done a little more research, but like the big twist, or one of the big twists in season 1, is also that the cop who has infiltrated the island, it's his brother running the game, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So he remembers that it's his brother, but he won't tell anybody, right? Yeah. Because we see him like having flashbacks. He's been in a coma for years, right? Or something.
Well, the fisherman found him, and then he was in coma, but I don't know how long. I don't know if they like talk about how long he's been.
Yeah. So we're following his story, and we're following the winner of the game's story predominantly. They also introduce a few new characters in the first couple episodes. One woman who works at a theme park, they introduce her in the way that they introduce like key members of season 1 that are going to be in the game.
Yeah,
but there's a twist with her that I thought was pretty good.
Did not see that coming at all.
Yeah. So I thought that was clever. But yeah, what did you think of the first? I mean, since we're talking about it, like the setup of these first 2 seasons or first 2 episodes.
Because I watched the first 2. Is that what you're saying?
Sounds like it.
I did watch at least the first 2. That is correct.
Yeah. Like, there's no game. Well, there is Russian roulette being played.
Oh yeah, that was nuts. And then last night we were playing rock paper scissors to see who gets like what for volleyball, and I was like,
God. Yeah.
No, I don't want to play.
It's traumatizing.
Yeah. So that was interesting. I like the setup. I'm really excited to go back into the actual games and see how it's different. Because now it's going to be like, you've already seen all of them. Like, how is it going to change?
Right.
Okay. How many episodes have you watched?
Okay. Let's count down and hold our fingers up.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Amount of fingers.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 3.
Yeah,
nice.
3
We both
each.
watched 3 episodes. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but I don't think I finished the third. Because I've made it to where they're like, he's back in the games.
Yes, they actually play red light, green light.
Yeah, I
again.
haven't seen that part.
Okay. Well, I like I said, I actually really appreciated that they spent some time kind of dealing with the aftermath in the in between. But I think that would 2 episodes, 1.5 was the right amount.
Yeah.
And then I wanted to be back in the games as well, because rewatching the back half of season 1 or watching the back half of season 1 reminded me of why the show worked. I mean, it's basically a game show with deadly consequences, fictional, of course, but each week or each episode, you get to find out what sick twist there is on an existing game, and you get like I was saying recently with Friday Night Lights, it's just this pattern. Yeah, it's just this pattern. Like, you're invested in the characters enough to care about the results of the game, and then on top of that, there's deadly consequences and money, and like, so it's like this. It's like a game show, but you get so much more backstory and cinematic, artfulness going into what makes just watching the floor is lava, interesting.
And then you're waiting to see, like, because now he has a chip in his tooth that's tracking him. So now you're waiting to see, like, what game are they going to even make it to? Like, are they going to, like, find the island in time for them, like, to save?
Okay, you didn't get very far into episode 3.
Oh no! Oh no! They blew up the boat.
Yeah. So these are these are.
Am I right?
Not to your preference.
They're not very stealthy, so I feel like they just probably kill everyone that's going on the boat. I don't know.
Well, I'm not saying that. What I was going to say is that these are not short episodes. These are hour-plus episodes. So each one is a full meal. But
okay.
But I will say they play red light, green light again as the first game, and it's going to be a pretty boring season if they repeat all the games.
Yeah. Well, I think they'll have change. They already have changes to the initial, like, you can leave anytime. I don't remember that being in the first episode, or the first season. So things are a little different.
Episode 3 was a real turning point for me. So I'm glad I stopped there, or I'm glad we're both at that point, sort of. Because the first 2 episodes, again, like, I didn't need more of that setup, but that got me invested in, okay, they're launching like a full-scale military operation to attack this island and yada yada. And then I was ready for the games to start, and once the game started and it was the same game, even if there is a new wrinkle that they can vote whether they want to continue or not, I would be really surprised if they repeat all the games.
Yeah, I'd like to think that they're like, really just, that's going to stay the same. Obviously, that's the same, but then the other ones will be different.
And I mean, in reality, it got me thinking about, like, I don't know if they exactly state how long this has been going on, but it's been going on for a while. They use the same island, presumably. They have this infrastructure built. It's new people every time. I guess, actually, now that I think about it, the people, the rich, VIPs, orchestrating all of this they would want to see new games probably too.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
I was going to say maybe it makes sense that it's not like the contestants, aside from our main character, have been through this before, but yeah, they would probably want to mix it up for the viewers and the gamblers that are betting on this sick, human experiment.
Do you think that one woman's going to find her daughter?
So this is the twist we mentioned, right? She's the character that's working at the theme park, and it turns out she has signed up not for the game, but for to work as a guard / killer.
Yep.
And her motivation, in so much, I think what this show does well is just crank up the melodrama to
oh my gosh,
I
cried the second.
Yeah, is that the cancer? Blood cancer one? Yeah, I mean,
I also thought, did you think that she was going to leave money in that strawberry hat? Because I did.
Yeah, it's true. She's been just dishing out, envelopes of cash is in a fruitless search for her own daughter.
Mm-hmm.
She could have given some of that
Well,
to
she overheard
the
him
family.
saying like, "Oh, he'll need treatment," blah, blah, blah. So I just thought she was gonna leave money for that kid, but she did not. So
I'm guessing they have like enough money, or I mean, that would be enough money to get normal treatment. They need insane amounts of money
they need
for
Squid Game money.
experimental. Although, again, I don't know what you get paid. I guess you get paid a lot as one of
Probably,
the
yeah,
guards, and that's a guarantee. It's less like being in the game.
yeah.
um, so, but that was like, okay, her motivation. Not only does she have this long lost daughter, she's
Mm-hmm.
also kind of found like she's acting as a surrogate mom figure to this girl with blood cancer.
Yeah.
um, and it's the things like that that are kind of like driving these characters, like really over the top motivations.
Mm-hmm.
The crypto
Oh my
guy,
gosh, yeah.
yeah,
Something bad's gonna happen to him. So.
yeah, Thanos, the rapper who apparently Jamie has a long history with as a K-pop artist.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I was
like
gonna
her.
say, I was like, he's really pretty. I was like, something like he just looks, yeah. So
Yeah.
that makes sense. That he's a K-pop guy.
To answer your question from a while ago, yes, I do think she'll find her daughter. You know, hopefully her daughter isn't the age that she'd be like in the game, right?
Well, that's what I was thinking. I think she'd still be too
Just
young. Like,
yeah.
but then they show like one or two girls that are younger in the games, and I'm like, could that be? I hope not. I hope not. But
Well, let's talk about the new batch of characters in the game. Is there anybody that you like or care about in this new group?
not really.
I
Not
kind of
yet.
thought,
Not yet.
yeah, I like the girl that was like modifying her, the fashion, the fashion girl. She gets killed.
Oh, I haven't seen that. I don't know what
Oh,
you're talking
oops,
about. So
never mind.
cool.
Um,
Well, whatever. That
oh,
I've only watched like whatever. I haven't even seen the first red light, green light. So
right.
so
Well,
she dies in that. Cool.
maybe,
It's fine. It's fine.
maybe I mixed up. But that was pretty much. It was pretty telegraphed in season one
Mhm.
that the main character of the whole show was gonna win. Like, so I guess it still worked for season one. And now he's back. So I don't think there's anybody else to latch onto yet.
No, I
Unfortunately,
mean, I
which,
obviously don't want the old mom to die
yeah.
with her son. Does she die?
Um,
She can't die in the first episode.
no.
Or the
Well,
third
I don't. I
episode.
mean, yeah, I don't know how to answer that, but
Oh, she
probably
does? You answered
no.
it.
It's not an answer. No.
Is it
Um,
every character they show, they highlight just dies in the third episode? Gotta finish this third
I think
episode.
about 100 people die, give or
Okay.
take.
Okay.
But we haven't met all of them.
Okay.
Yeah, I do think that was a weakness of season one. Like, he forms a relationship with the old man,
Mhm.
and this maybe you've gotten as far as like there's a woman like reading his aura
Oh yeah.
when
And his friends
when he
in the
shows up.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And his friends in the game,
So I don't
and
really want him to die. But I don't really know his friend very well. So.
yeah, and there's another like reveal of like somebody connected to the game being a contestant.
Oh.
So I am pretty on the fence. We can answer the question, do we want more or not? But the episode 3 wasn't necessarily trending in the right direction for me.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Just in terms, like I said, just in terms of repeating the game,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what else. Yeah, I guess I'll have a lot more info after like episode 4, see if they keep. There's only 7 episodes, I'm pretty sure,
Okay.
in season 2. So is there going to be a game in every episode, or are they going to be new games?
Mm-hmm.
I'm very curious about things like that. Obviously, are they going to infiltrate the island and shut the game down?
Oh, so they didn't blow up on the ship. Okay, cool.
Maybe. A lot can happen out at sea. And like, what's interesting is obviously player 456. Maybe that's how we can avoid pronouncing his name.
Mm-hmm.
He knows red light, green light. They could at any point, they're letting him sort of manipulate other
Mm-hmm.
players in the game itself because of his past knowledge.
Yeah.
And how much are they going to choose to let him do that or shut it down, kill him at any point? Like, it's a little contrived that they wanted him there and don't want to kill him, but I can also see why. I think he makes the argument that like the bigwigs would want to see him play again.
Mm-hmm. He does in the limo. But yeah, I'm curious how I feel now after the end of the third episode once I watch that, because I was excited to be back in the game, but then I was tired, so I took a nap. But I just don't know, because last time it was so like fresh and so new.
Yeah.
And so how's it gonna be like? It's not gonna be that feeling. So we'll see. We'll see.
I think it's definitely a bigger challenge, and obviously they wanted to make this as soon as the first one was a breakout hit, and I don't know if it was a creative challenge to get it going for season 2, to come up with a story that everyone was satisfied with, but yeah, I do think that the challenge is the bar, or the difficult level of difficulty is higher for a season 2 of this. That said, do you want more?
Thumbs down for yes, thumbs up. Wait, yeah, thumbs down for no, thumbs up for yes. Oh my gosh, my brain is working real well. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
perfect.
Easy.
We have the same hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a whirl. Watch season. I mean, if there's only 3 or 7 episodes, I'll probably watch the whole thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, I was excited to start episode 3, and as long as episode 4, keeps the momentum going, it's an addictive show for sure.
Yeah.
All right, well, that's it for this week's episode. Next week, we might be doing a look back on 2024. We might be doing a look ahead on 2025. Or we might do a new show if there's something I haven't nothing's jumped out at me, but maybe there's something I haven't seen yet. So stay tuned for that by searching New Release on Spotify or Apple, or New Release Radio on YouTube. Ashley?
I want to see Baby Girl.
Oh, well, we can do a movie roundup as well.
Okay, just throwing it out there. It looks great. I love that actor, so I'm excited to see him in something else.
Nicole Kidman?
No. I mean, she's fine. No, not her. Yeah. Oh, sorry. That's just a wrap. It's just a wrap.